We have new leaks from the brand new Pokemon Pocket set, Space-Time Smackdown, coming out in a few days, all on PokemonMeta.com. Let's hop right in. Boom. Leaks upcoming set. Very nice. Now, to get ready for the set with trading coming out, you're going to want to hop into the Discord. Discord.com/invite/Pokemon Meta. And within the Discord, we have a trade request channel, all the different top decks that you want to discuss with people, trade discussion, and all that good stuff and more. So make sure you hop in and get ready for trading and the new set. Now, we're going to start off with the very first card. Weavile EX. Let me make sure I'm zoomed in enough where you could see this very nicely. Is this super zoomed in? Very nice. There you go. Just like that. Weavile EX. It is a dark energy Pokemon at 140 health. This is a stage 1 evolution. It's got the single dark energy attack, scratching nails for 30 damage. Now, that obviously is not very good, but what does the ability actually do? If your opponent's active Pokemon has damage on it, this attack now does an additional 40 more damage. So it's going to be a 1 dark energy 70 damage attack. And when I think about dark energy, I'm thinking about potentially the Pokemon being poisoned. So they're going to have some damage on it, and then you could finish them off with your scratching nails. Now, this 1 dark energy attack will be 90 damage against a popular Pokemon like Mewtwo. So if we have EX up here, Mewtwo at 150 health, deal 90 to that. Now, what's unfortunate here is, let's do the math on this. We initially scratched the Mewtwo for 50 damage, so now it's at 100 health. And then now the Weavile follow-up attack will just do 90 damage. So not enough to completely wipe out, two-shot a Mewtwo EX. It will require a third attack or something like a Giovanni to slightly boost up the Weavile. Now, I do want to skip ahead because Pokemon tools, a brand new card type has been added into the game, and maybe a new Pokemon tool could help out the Weavile. Let's see that down here. We got some new supporter cards, new Pokemon tools right here. Let's start off with Rocky Helmet. Rocky Helmet, you're going to equip this onto your Pokemon. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's active Pokemon, deal 20 damage to the attacking Pokemon. This is quite interesting because we're pretty much in a wall meta where you wall up with your main active Pokemon until you swap in your real one to get sweep in. Maybe you want to attach a Rocky Helmet in addition to that. Is that going to be too redundant or what? What is that, the Druddigon? Let's see that card real quick. So the Druddigon already, if attacked, is going to deal 20 damage, and now it would deal 40 damage with the Rocky Helmet? You tell me if you're going to be putting a Rocky Helmet onto your Druddigon now. Let's see what else we have. We have Lumberry. At the end of every turn, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is affected by any special condition, it recovers from all of them, then discard this card. Wow, that's very interesting. So you're not going to be having to rely on a coin flip and getting unlucky with that. And, remove the sleep, paralysis, poison. Poison's going to be a really weak special addition to eat up the Lumberry, but beyond that, if the special condition meta ever happens, then you're ready with the Lumberry. And it makes me think about potentially, would we have some kind of a side deck meta where we side deck in a card like this, or people are just going to have the proper foresight of choosing to main deck a card like this? Okay. Giant Cape. The Pokemon this card is attached to gains a permanent plus 120 health. There you go. This is going to be kind of similar to the blue card, right? Blue states that during your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take 10 less damage from attacks. Now, this is a supporter card, meaning you can't activate another supporter card in the same turn as activating this. So I would think the Giant Cape is just way better, right? Permanent plus 20 health versus a measly minus 10 reduction on a supporter card. That is nuts. And what I'm thinking is missing here, and you have to understand that these leaks is not the total card pool. So we will revisit the new cards as soon as the pack comes out, because I'm thinking there would be a Pokemon tool that gives you just plus 10 damage, right? It's so basic, and a card like Weavile would need it to want to two-shot the Mewtwo. Now, it obviously does not need the Pokemon tool. It could use the Giovanni instead, but it would be a good thing to make the supporter cards, not having to rely on a supporter card like Giovanni, that is, and you could have some cool Pokemon tool synergy instead. Now, that is it for the Pokemon tools. Maybe instead of the rest of the Pokemon, let's go on over to the supporter cards. Cyrus. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has damage on it to the active spot. Ooh, this is similar to Sabrina, but with more precision. Sabrina gives your opponent the choice to switch their active Pokemon with the bench. And if you could deal just a little bit of damage, or if they swapped out a Pokemon, their main Pokemon they're trying to protect, now Cyrus will definitively pull that Pokemon to the main spot so that you could get that finishing move onto it. I would think the main use of this is to grab an EX Pokemon that has a little bit of damage so that you can ensure that 2-point victory for the win. Very nice. I can't see this card being used at 2. I don't even see this being an auto-include in every deck, but maybe just teching in a single Cyrus, this is going to steal games. I believe it. Now, what else do we have here? Volkner with the nice alt art here. Choose one of your Electivire or Luxray, okay? And then attach 2 lightning energy from your discard pile to that Pokemon. All right. I don't think you could actually view your discard pile in game, but you know, any of your energy that gets discarded, it's just the game's going to remember, and then the Volkner is going to be able to grab from that discard pile and then get attaching. Sure. Okay. And then Cynthia. During this turn, attacks used by your Garchomp or Togekiss. We already saw this. This is not an exclusive leak. Plus 50 additional damage for your Garchomp or Togekiss. And we do have Togekiss and Garchomp in the leaks. So an additional 50 damage. And then there's the regular Cynthia. So let's now go back up here. We have Murkrow alongside Weavile EX, which we already talked about. Pecking for 20 damage. Do we have the evolved version of Murkrow here? It does not look like it. Now, Gallade EX. What is this? 170, huge, bulky Pokemon. That is crazy. Unfortunately, though, it is weak to Psychic. So it being weak to Psychic, meaning that the Mewtwo, 150 damage is a one-shot onto the Gallade EX. Now, what else does this do, though? Besides getting one shot by Mewtwo, it has Energized Blade, 70 plus damage. This attack does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, so what is this going to be good against? If we have the most popular EX Pokemon up here, we have, if we have a ton of energy attached to the Gyarados, this could possibly do a ton of damage, 20 additional. So we have 80 on top of 70. That's not going to be enough to kill the Gyarados, unfortunately. Pikachu, weak to fighting. So let's talk about this. We have the Gallade ability dealing 90 damage to Pikachu if Pikachu has no attached energy whatsoever. And what's going to happen is you're going to need the Pikachu to have 2 attached energy for it to be a one-shot, right? For that additional 40 damage on top of the 90. So I would say in most cases, the Gallade will be able to one-shot the Pikachu, of course, as long as it has that 2 energy attached. Now, what else do we have here? Porygon. It's just the basic. Beam for 20, sure. Porygon 2, Stage 1. The beam now turns into Sharpen for 30 damage for 1 colorless energy, and we did gain 20 health. And then a Stage 2 evolution. Porygon Z, Buggy Beam for 3 colorless energy at 140 HP. Change the type of the next energy that will be generated for your opponent to one of the following at random. Wait, it's random? This, oh wow, this could randomly lock your opponent out of the entire game. This is a very special condition. Like we were talking about how the Lumberry helps you survive a condition of being asleep or paralyzed, but the Lumberry will not protect you from this affecting your active energy. This is a very special card. Of course, something like this can't really exist in the TCG because they don't have that active energy generating energy every single turn. Wow. I can't imagine this actually being a top tier deck of just getting complete. This will be the most frustrating thing to ever play against. There's a lot of different energy that it could switch to. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what? Let's calculate this real quick. Let's do the calculator. So 7 divided by 8. That's an 87.5% chance, I would say, to change the energy to an energy you do not want it to be. Let's say you want it to be a grass energy, right? For your grass Pokemon. And then that 87.5% chance that it's not going to be grass. Wow. Now that I think about it like that, that 87.5% chance of not being your preferred energy, this could actually really be a situation. Oh my, you can't really hide from it on the bench either, because it's just your active energy is continually switched. Now, the way to play around this would be a card like Moltres, of course, right? Moltres won't be affected. Moltres right there. Moltres could get around not relying on your active energy. So that would be one way to counter this. Now we got Togepi. Pound for 20. Boy, how many Pokemon have Pound? And we have Togetic. Togetic upgrading, stage 1, Fairy Wind, 40 damage. It's not going to be anything special here. Now, Togekiss. Now, remember, this is going to be boosted by the Cynthia. Plus 50 additional damage onto the Togekiss, or the Garchomp, that is. At 140 health, I would think that a Togekiss would have more health than 140. I remember in game that Togekiss was a lot more beefy than a 140 health for the TCG, I would say, for the conversion. Now, it has Overdrive Smash for 2 Psychic Energy, which is going to be an additional 50, so 110 damage. During your next turn, this Overdrive smashes for an additional plus 60 damage. Ooh, that reminds me of a Pokemon ability like Rollout, just continually dealing more damage if I'm thinking of the right ability, or is it Rampage, something like that. So initially, it will deal 110 with the Cynthia, and then the next turn, 170 damage. 170 Psychic with the Cynthia on the follow-up turn. So if this knocks out a basic crappy Pokemon early, then the opponent's going to be very scared to whip out anything else, as a 170 is going to one-shot the Mew. It's going to kill the Mewtwo. The Gyarados actually survives the 170 damage due to being that large. Now, an additional 10 damage with Giovanni. How are you going to do that, though? Cynthia being a supporter card. That's where the Pokemon tool would come into play. So where we could boost up with Cynthia, and then the Pokemon, and now, of course, this card does not exist yet. I would hope that it's coming on the set, or maybe you think it would be too broken when comboed up with a card like Cynthia. Sorry, I can't speak. I just woke up. And maybe that's why that Pokemon tool would not exist. I don't know about that. So 170, Gyarados survives, so Gyarados would be fine. Executor wiped out. Celebi wiped out. Pikachu, say goodbye. Charizard does also survive, barely at 10 health. Okay, that is something, though. And then we have Gibble. Gibble into one of my favorite Pokemon, not Gabite. Gabite's not my favorite Pokemon. One of my favorite Pokemon is Garchomp. Holy moly, I think this would be the first deck I rush to play first, and they have to make this top tier, right? So this, again, will be comboed up with Cynthia to deal an additional 50 damage, and we have a special ability at 140 health. Again, that's kind of small. Yeah, what's going on here? Mewtwo at 150, Gyarados and Charizard at 180, tiny Garchomp. I think that's kind of disappointing for me. So what is this ability? You must discard a card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw a card. Ooh, wow. The game right now, Pokemon Pocket, we have no way to search for stage 1, stage 2 Pokemon. We don't really have good searcher cards as we do in the TCG. Our professor research doesn't draw, 7 cards in the TCG. So having the ability to draw and from the bench, I think that's a big deal. Now, the downside being, of course, that this is a stage 2 evolution. It's going to take quite a while to even set this up. It's not like you're drawing cards on the very first turn of your duel to help set up a Garchomp. Now, beyond the great ability of drawing every single turn, this does have a retreat cost of just 1. I should be noting the retreat cost of all the Pokemon. Weavile at 1 retreat, Gallade at 1 retreat, Porygon Z at 2 retreat, Togekiss at 1, a lot of 1 retreats. This is wild. And then the Garchomp at 1 retreat. We have Dragon Claw. This is where this gets a bit sus to me. Oh boy, we're going to have to mix up water and fighting for a Dragon Claw, which will deal 150 damage though. That 150 being enough to right away one-shot that Mewtwo. Of course, not enough for the Gyarados, and outside the range of using a Giovanni to help kill it. Say goodbye to the Pikachu. Executor is going to barely survive. Yeah, I don't know if I incorrectly. You can't. Yeah, you can't Giovanni on top of Cynthia. I don't know if I said that incorrectly, but 150 damage, sure. So it's mostly gonna. I don't know. I feel like this is really underwhelming. Garchomp, what's going on here, dude? We can't really play this in a Dragonite deck. A Dragonite's gonna want to be water and electric, right? A fighting plus water for Dragon Claw. Are we really going to just use Garchomp for drawing every turn? And if someone's saying that in the comments, then that's a massive disappointment. I should have my Garchomp in the active Pokemon spot sweeping up the entire field. What is this? Okay, let me actually temper my expectations correctly. It's missing something on this card, and what it's missing is EX. It's not Garchomp EX. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't be, there's still a chance that a Garchomp EX could come out then, right? So this may not be the final and only version of Garchomp that we're going to be receiving in this set. I really hope that that's the case. We need a Garchomp EX, a real sweeper. Too tiny. Same thing with Togekiss maybe, right? Togekiss EX is not an EX here, yeah, so possibly coming out. Let's see, Lucario. What is this? 100 health, not an EX. We do want to be pointing that out. 2 retreat cost, so Leaf could pull it out. Stage 1 evolution. Fighting Coach. Attacks used by your fighting Pokemon deal plus 20 damage to your... I think we already knew about this card. I remember looking at this previously, yes. Submarine Blow for 40 damage. So if you do want to check out the other cards, it is here. These are not leaked. These are, kind of leaked by the Pokemon company themselves. Dialga and Palkia, so make sure to read those cards also. In addition, we're not going to revisit that, but Lucario, we already talked about that, sure. But we just get to see the other art of it. Now, Magnezone. What is this? Stage 2 to Magnemite. Thunder Blast for 110 damage. Discard a single electric energy from this Pokemon for that 110. Seems not so good, huh? I don't know. Am I missing something? I don't really... does this work with... let's see this. Magnemite. All right. Magneton. Volt Charge. Once during your turn, you may take a electric energy from your energy zone, attach it to this Pokemon. So I guess it does get to self-boost up its own energy as you get ready for the Magnezone. You're not going to have to... Yeah, this may be quickly be Thunder Blasting as soon as you evolve into the Magneton. Okay. Now, what is the supporter card again that does the electric type? That is the electric gym leader, Lieutenant Surge. This is not going to be supporting your Magnemite or Magna, any of them. Raichu, Electrode, Electabuzz only in the active spot. So, I don't know. I guess my initial review of the Magnezone is this does not seem good enough to build a whole deck around, right? Or you tell me if I'm missing something big. Now, we have Manaphy. Manaphy, 50 health. It's going to be a water single energy to have Oceanic Gift. What is this? Choose 2 of your bench Pokemon. For each of those Pokemon, take a water energy from your energy zone and attach it to that Pokemon. Interesting. Choose 2. So I would say you can't choose just one. You're going to have, that would be a downside here, right? You don't have enough Pokemon on your bench to even use this ability. That'd be a big problem. But otherwise, if you do have enough bench Pokemon, you got to choose exactly 2, and then you get that +2 water energy, 1 onto each. That's quite efficient. That could be pretty good. Okay. Manaphy. Nice. And then what is this? Staraptor. No, it's not Staraptor. Staraptor. Where is the stage 1 and the basic version of Staraptor? I guess we don't have it here. This is not Murkrow. Now, what's going on here? Staraptor at 140 health, not an EX, has Clutch for 80 damage at 3 colorless energy. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. So, all right, that's a similar ability to others that we've seen. It's nothing too crazy here. A lot of the flying Pokemon seemingly have that ability of keeping your Pokemon in play, or, the Pidgeot has, doesn't it actually lock them in, right? This does 20 for each bench Pokemon. What is the Pidgeot? Once during your turn, you may switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench, and then I guess you lock them in with the Staraptor. Okay. Rotom. I am, the Rotoms. There's all these different Rotoms. I remember playing them in Pokemon Showdown, and Rotom actually being top tier. Now, Will it be top tier in Pokemon Pocket? Is there more than one Rotom in this set? We just have the regular basic Rotom here at 70 electric. It is electric, 70 health. So Assault Laser for 1 colorless, 20 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon has a tool attached to it, this deals 30 additional damage. Now, I can't imagine this being good where, what, are we attaching early tools to our turn 1 basic Pokemons? Probably not. Otherwise, if that were a strategy to attach an early tool to your first Pokemon, then Rotom being able to smack for 50 damage right away at a bulky 70 health, this comes off to me as like a side deck card. Okay, what else we have? Bidoof, 60 health, colorless. It's got 2 colorless energy to Super Fang. Have your opponent's active Pokemon remaining HP rounded down. Whoa. Okay, random Bidoof in your deck, and then you could just Bidoof all over the Gyarados, right? What the heck? Let's type an EX up here. Bidoof, half of Mewtwo's health. Bidoof, 90 damage to a Gyarados. That's something. Wow. Okay, yeah, you're going to have to be scared of the Bidoof. This Bidoof setting up the kill. Bidoof will essentially make any EX Pokemon turn them into one-shot range. Wow, okay. Infernape, the EX. So all these non-EX Pokemon we're looking at, now we got an EX. This has got to be good, right? 170, there's the bulky health I'm talking about. Flare Blitz for 140, Stage 2 Evolution. Is this, I don't think that we could have 2 Stage 2 Evolutions in the same deck with something like Charizard, right? This would be competing with Charizard, so we have to compare this with Charizard specifically. Let's do that. So we have Charizard and 180 health, and then let's also bring up the Infernape, and also on the tier list on the chart. Wow, the tier list already recently just updated. Celebi back up to tier 1. Good job. Charizard is weak to Mewtwo. So I guess it'd be good to see, does the Infernape do well against Mewtwo, since we have a bad matchup with Charizard against that. So the Charizard EX, 180 health, Infernape at 170, so Charizard wins there. Now, the Charizard has 4 energy to deal a Crimson Storm 200 damage, where you have to discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. Infernape, instead, is just 2 energy. So much more quickly, 140 damage. It's not enough to one-shot the Mewtwo, which is the problematic deck matchup here. But with the Giovanni, it is. Giovanni and the Infernape smack that Mewtwo out of here, as long as it doesn't have the Giant Cape on it, of course, which I think Giant Cape is going to be an auto-include in so many decks, especially any deck that's barely within the one-shot threshold like Mewtwo against many counters. So now you do have to discard all fire energy from this Pokemon, but it's just 2 energy. But that's actually a much bigger downside, and so this is what I'd be thinking. Charizard's downside could not really be a downside if you build up a ton of energy on Charizard from the bench to then use Crimson Storm back to back. Now, Infernape cannot use Flare Blitz back to back. If you put 6 fire energies onto your Infernape, you are an absolute mad lad, because you're going to discard all of that fire energy completely just to deal that 140, and then you're building back up from 0. So Infernape is just a single punch, but very quickly done, and then it's going to take a bit longer. Maybe you whoa, the retreat cost is 0. I guess that's the point. You're supposed to Flare Blitz them and then retreat on the very next turn, and then on the turn afterward. So every other turn, you're Flare Blitzing for 140, while you're also every other turn retreating your Infernape. That is very interesting. Wow. You know, I don't know what to say. Infernape against Charizard, what would be better? Maybe it's just, will just be its own deck alongside it. Okay, with its own benefits. Sure. What else do we have here? We have Riolu. Riolu, jabbing for 26. Okay, nothing special here. Ralts. Is this a new Ralts? Switch this with one of your bench Pokemon. Teleport for a colorless. What does the old Ralts do? It's not relevant, right? Ralts is always on the bench. Ram for, I guess, okay, this is a power creep, right? We definitely replace the old Ralts with the new one. Because for the rare chance where you have to open up Ralts instead of a Mewtwo, that's unfortunate. And then that will help you out. Just teleport out. Kirlia. Kirlia, what's the old Kirlia? Let's type it up here. Kirlia. So we have both of them right here. We could either smack for 30 for 2 energy on the old Kirlia. And then, or you could slap for 20 with 1 colorless. I think the new one might be better in some circumstances. I don't know. This doesn't really matter, right? I think it's going to come down to the art. You tell me. Maybe smack. I don't know. Now, Eevee. Wait. Look. What? Look at this. Look at this art. What the heck is this? This is like a Twitch emote. What the heck? That's an angry Eevee. Holy moly. Quick attack. Flip a coin. If heads, this does 20 more damage. Let's see. What's the other Eevee do? Oh my gosh, there's so many Eevees. Tackle for 20, growl, continuous steps, and then we have quick attack. All right, sure. I don't really have much to say about that. This card, besides the art, is very interesting. It's the weirdest face I've ever seen on a Pokemon. What the heck? Now we have Darkrai. What is this? This is not, I think people would expect Darkrai to have an EX version, right? Darkrai 110 health, not EX, darkness. Dark Void for 3 energy, 2 of the dark plus the colorless. 60 damage, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep right away. Boom, gets sleep in. And if sleeping actually becomes a top tier strategy, the Lumberry is ready to save the day. And then the final Pokemon, we have Drifloon. Expand for 10 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attacks, stalling at 50 health. So it's essentially, it's not just, it wouldn't be 70 health, right? If it survives multiple attacks, it will continually be like it's at first additionally 70, and then it'd be like 90, and then it would be similar to having 110 health, probably. So I would say the ability's given this a nice 20 to 60 extra bulk. Okay, nice. And then put a giant cape on this and you have a very annoying Pokemon. And then I guess you're going to have Rotom help save the day for that 50 damage if they have a tool on them. Now, beyond these main cards, we have some more leaks down here. Also, event/promo cards. Ooh, I don't know why I was thinking maybe the promo cards wouldn't be that good. We have an EX Pokemon here. Cresselia EX. What is this? Lunar Plumage is our ability. This is basic at 140 health. I think I'm just repeating myself. Whenever you attach a psychic energy from your energy zone to this Pokemon, heal 20 damage. Wow. Heal 20 every single turn. And what I was just talking about with the expand, it's not just an additional plus 20 health. It's just every turn you get hit and every turn you heal, that's an additional plus 20. So this could be essentially a 160, 180, potentially a 200 health Pokemon through its own self-healing. That's interesting. This even works on the bench. It doesn't have to be in the active spot to gain that 20 health. So very annoying. Cresselia continually healing as it Psychic Flashes you every turn for 80 damage at 3 energy. The attack is really weak, but you know the sustainability of the ability, that seems pretty good. Piplup. What is this? Basic, 60 health, nap, heal 20 damage on this Pokemon. There's a lot of stalling Pokemon here. What's going on here? Expanding, healing. Turtwig. Bites for 30. Okay, I mean, that is a bulky Pokemon, 80 health. Electivire. Sorry about the pictures on these are horrible. Exciting Voltage. Can I even read this? 40 plus damage. If this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy, does more damage. Okay. Misdreavus, Confuse Ray. The opponent's Pokemon's now confused. Now, confusion is when they attack, they flip a coin, and I believe if it's tails, they then take 30 damage and their attack does nothing. Okay, that's pretty damn nice. What else do we have here? Skarmory. Skarmory, Metal Arms for 20. If it has a tool attached, this does, is that 70 more damage? Am I reading this correctly? I can't count. What is that? 70? What number is that? That's 70 is a lot more damage to have a tool equipped. I can't imagine it being 70, right? It looks like it though. Wow. If this actually is 90 damage with a tool, this is something. A Pokemon tool deck, and then you'd preemptively put a Lumberry on this, not even caring, just for that extra damage. Incredible, if that's the case. I can't tell, though. Chimchar. Was this? Scratch for 20, sure. And Togepi, pounding. Okay, same as a similar one. Now, trade features. Trade tokens are required to trade cards off of certain rarities. Now, I guess the main thing is we don't really know how rare the trade tokens will be, how often we're going to have these. You can obtain trade tokens in the obtain items by consuming cards with a rarity of 3. Ooh. You dismantle your cards to gain trade tokens or competing in event magicians. So any additional, the thing is, if you're going to have additional cards to dismantle, you probably would not even engage with the trade feature, right? Because as far as I know, the game does not let you dismantle a card unless you have additional copies in addition to the max amount, right? You'd have to have more than 2 of a card. You'd have to have 3 or more to even be able to consume a card unless they allow you to consume them without having more than the max amount. So, yeah, that's kind of awkward. You're right. Okay, let's see. Upcoming events and campaigns. Space-Time Smackdown Emblem Event. In Emblem Events, you win battles against players. You can obtain emblems that can be set on your player profile. There will also be missions where you could obtain Shine Dust. And a lot of people are hoping Shine Dust would be used for trading. Not the case. Wonder Pick Event. There's a lot of drama with the Wonder Pick, and I don't know. You tell me if I should make a video on it exposing that it's the Pokemon Company, Devna, whatever you want to say, who the devs are. They're considering the exploit to be cheating, and they put out a harsh message to many people that are abusing it. Bots are involved, macros are involved, and a lot of people are essentially getting free God Pokemon packs and the Wonder Pick for free. They're not happy about that. And this new patch, the new update, may just fix that from even being a possibility. Chimchar and Togepi promo cards are appearing in Wonder Pick. Okay, not that great. Darkness-type Pokemon Mass Outbreak Event. Darkness-type Pokemon cards will appear in the rare pick and bonus picks. Okay. Cresselia EX Drop Event. Drop events are events where you can get promo cards by doing solo battles. Cresselia will be obtainable for free. That's great. Okay, good. What else? Premium Pass. New promo card, Piplup, added to the Premium Pass. I have an issue with the Premium Pass. I can't cancel my pass because I obtained it on my New Zealand account, and then I switched to my American account. And now when I try to cancel the Premium Pass, it says, no, you can't do that. And I don't know how to get back onto my New Zealand account. So I'm forever paying for Premium, I guess. New items added to the shop. Pokegold. Well, all right. Ooh, wow. Cynthia. New Cynthia stuff. This looks good. That is great. All right. What else? Trade celebration. To celebrate the release of trade, we're going to give you some special items. 500 trade tokens. I don't know how much it costs to do a trade, though. Trade Hourglass 120. Sure. And then we have the Genetic Apex campaign. Special booster packs with 4 diamond or higher cards guaranteed. What? Wait, what does this mean? Special campaign guaranteeing 4 diamond or better. Wow. That's pretty cool. And there you go. That is it. Spoilers on next events. Yep, everything we were talking about there. So everything is over on PokemonMeta.com, and we're going to continually update this article with more cards. Let me do a little refresh here. Maybe there's a new card here. No, there's not. But if there are new cards being added or new information, this initially was not on the article. Make sure to keep on checking there. Also, go on over to the Discord, Pokemon Meta, on top of discord.com/invite or discord.gg. And in addition to the trading and all the deck type channels, we have the Leak News channel very actively discussing any new leaks happening anywhere on the internet, which we'll be also just updating PokemonMeta.com with. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out the top cards page, tier list page, all that good stuff. See the win rates against decks. Mewtwo doesn't do well against Koga, of course, it being a dark deck, and now they're going to have the new dark Pokemon to support it. Very nice. And with that said, we are out.